Yes, hi, hello, happy holidays, and welcome back to fucking Gooncast, where we fucking waste our lives talking about stupid shit. Hey, how's it going? I'm Saber. Also, James. I'm a Twitch streamer and a hack fraud. And once again, I'm joined by, Kat and Lee and a special guest. Introduce yourselves.
Yeah, hi everybody. Once again, it's your girl Kat, aka the Attack Cat on Twitch. I'm a horror writer. I'm a dialogue designer by day, horror writer / artist by night.
Bitches!
Your boy Lee Alder is here, the Valley Jester. I'm a horror and fantasy writer, and I will not be segueing into today's topic because we have fourth Goon today.
Ooh!
Yeah, woo, fourth Goon. Introduce yourself.
I'm Aaron Thomas. I'm just an absolute fraud. Not a hack fraud, just a fraud.
Beautiful.
Well, you're halfway there, bud.
Yeah,
We'll get you there.
you're an honorary hack fraud today.
Yeah, so what, remember the Matrix?
No. Somebody refresh my memory.
Oh,
Someone refresh my memory for 2 hours.
2.5.
2.5 hours.
Yeah, so one of the topics today is the Matrix Resurrections, aka Matrix 4, aka Matrix Remember, aka Matrix Regurgitations, aka Meta.
Oh man.
full spoilers, obviously.
Yeah.
So why don't you all discuss your enjoyment of the previous films for a hot minute, and then we'll go into the new one.
Boy.
Okay, I can start.
Yeah, go for it.
So I probably watched the first Matrix a fair ways out from when it actually came out, because I would have been like 9 at the time and definitely not allowed to see that kind of movie. But I loved the first one. I don't think I loved it to the degree that a lot of fans did. But I thought it was smart and it was fun to watch, and the action was really enjoyable and unique. And it really like kind of genre defining in a way. And I hated the sequels. Just kind of didn't really care for them at all. So that's about my I wouldn't say I'm a super fan, but I'd say that I've appreciated what the Wachowskis originally did.
Yeah, my relationship with the Matrix is I am one of the people who drinks the Kool-Aid on the first one. I think it is absolutely fantastic. Some parts of it haven't aged very well, but at the same time, it's one of those things that was like so new and revolutionary when it came out that it kind of like invented a lot of things that we maybe take as overplayed these days. And I'm a little bit of an apologist for the second and third. I don't think they're as bad as the reputation is. They're still not great. I think they get a little bit of a bad rep. Because on a rewatch, the second one especially is not too shabby. But yeah, it is a damn fine series. Damn fine.
Yeah, see, that's where I come in, and I'm just like, I'm a big fanboy of all three, the Animatrix.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Comics to my veins. Just, I absolutely love the Matrix. It's a series that like the Star Wars prequels, I'm the only one defending the sequels. So it's just something I do. I like the underdog movies, I suppose.
Well, at least we are in a day and age where Reddit has propelled Revenge of the Sith into being one of the greatest films of all time.
Yeah, when did that happen?
Like 3 years ago or something. I don't know.
Dear Lord.
I mean, best of the prequels, but no.
Now hold on just a minute. This
is not a Star Wars podcast. Hold on. I didn't sign up for this.
I didn't ask for this.
I didn't ask for this.
Yeah, and as for me, I think the first movie's fine. I was never a super big fan of it. In fact, I thought it was a tinge overrated. I do find it. I respect it for what it accomplished and what it popularized, even though I'm gonna try to chalk it up to just similar minds think alike sort of thing as it happens in Hollywood, where you have two similar films coming out virtually like in close proximity that kind of cover the same topic.
Oh.
And I'm kind of always a dark person who goes like, I liked it better when Dark City did it, even though I know The Matrix was most likely in production beforehand, even though The Matrix did reuse some sets from Dark City, but I just am chalking that up to just film production, cutting costs and stuff like that.
So as a kind of jumping off point from that, have you guys I sort of recently had to eat crow about this because there's like a famous Hollywood rumor, I'm sure you guys have heard this, that like the screenplay for The Matrix was stolen originally. Like it was a not famous like black female writer who like had a script that was being shopped around. It's completely false, or at least, I mean, allegedly, that like there's no evidence that ever happened. And the woman in interviews, she comes off as a little couple screws loose. Yeah,
it's one of those Hollywood wives' tales that you can probably chalk up to like Marilyn Manson got a rib removed so he could give himself a blowjob.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, no, there is actually a person who like genuinely sued the Wachowskis for it, but like she had absolutely no case and lost spectacularly. So it's one of those things that's kind of like it was. I think it was a thing that was used to like discredit them in some ways. And I had just heard it as rumor and never even, because I'm not a big Matrix fan. So I was just like, oh, all right, sure. That's weird and kind of, terrible of them. And then like years later, somebody was like, are you sure about that? And I was like, you know what? I'm actually not. I kind of just took what my friend told me at face value and I Googled it and I was like, oh no, she's crazy.
Well, yeah, like that's similar to the endless, that I had grown up with, that Lion King was a knockoff of Kimba the White Lion. And
oh my God, yes.
You hear that, and it's just like, okay, and then you see the evidence they're presenting. It's like, oh, this doesn't look too good for Disney.
Yeah.
And of course,
yeah.
Like a year or two ago, Your Movie Sucks did a massive 2.5-hour breakdown of that and disproved that entire fucking thing. But I mean,
which is fantastic, and also like very much a be careful what you like what rumors you believe, because very much it's so easy for someone to just say something to discredit someone, and
or there's the other side of it where it's true and no one cares, like, oh, James Cameron's Avatar is just John Carter of Mars, and everyone's like, yeah, but fuck John Carter.
Yeah, basically. So
fuck Taylor Kitsch, not my Gambit.
Oh my God.
I don't particularly
true.
I don't particularly like either sequel, although I like most of the Animatrix. And
I haven't seen the Animatrix actually.
It's not bad.
It's pretty good. There's element. It's an anthology film. Some of the shorts are fantastic. Some fall a little flat. It's the nature of anthology movies.
This is kind of a fun podcast then, because I feel like we kind of run the gamut of emotions on the original trilogy.
This Matrix 4 podcast is so fun because we haven't talked about it yet.
I'm saying I feel like all of us are coming from very different places, like emotionally and opinion wise, and I think we're going to end up in the same place.
A little bit. When The Matrix 4 was announced, I thought it was a bad idea conceptually, just because I'm a little burnt out on trilogies that were wrapped up getting years later sequels, and also the endless nostalgia bait that Hollywood has been doing, where it's just, hey, remember this franchise? We're going to be digging it up, since it very rarely works out, as I was telling Kat.
For more on that, listeners, go back and re-listen to our reviews of Halloween Kills and Candyman and Spiral.
My God.
The only film I can think of in recent memory that was a years later sequel that I adore is Fury Road. So I went into this movie with no expectations and trying to go in with an open mind. And I was very frustrated and disappointed.
Yeah. I think for me, like, and especially on rewatch, I feel like I've mellowed a little bit. I still dislike think I dislike mostly the execution of a lot of stuff. I think a lot of the ideas are there, and I think there's a universe where I could have liked this. It's not this universe, but
Was it in the Matrix, perhaps?
It might have been in the Matrix, yes. Because in general, like, I mean, obviously spoilers. There's a huge meta element, and I know a lot of people just like hate meta out the gate, like they just don't want. But personally, I've never had a problem with meta. James and I talked about, we both really like Cabin in the Woods. I mean, I think everybody here can agree Cabin in the Woods is a great movie.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
I even am a fan of Grave Encounters 2, which is very meta and definitely turned a lot of people off in that regard, but I enjoyed it for what it was. So I'm saying this as somebody who, like, maybe that's an indication of, like, my taste is shit, or maybe it's an indication of, like, I don't just hate something just because it's meta. I don't even necessarily just hate the meta parts of this. I just think they were so self-aware and, like, self-indulgent. Yeah.
But
It was borderline masturbatory.
But remember the
A
Matrix?
little bit, yeah.
Remember
Self-congratulatory.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I don't necessarily want... Oh, Jesus. I don't necessarily want to get ahead of ourselves if, like, James and I want to get into any of, like... I mean, we stray away from work talk a lot, but I feel like, given what happens 20 minutes in, I feel like it's kind of necessary for us to say something
It's hard
about
not
that.
to.
Yeah, James, I don't know if you want to leave that for later or...
We'll leave it for later. I want everybody's ground opinion first, because, I mean, you and I take particular umbrage with the first half hour or so of the movie.
Yes.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
My short version impression before we get into it further, I wanted to turn the movie off twice. Well, as far as resurrections go, I would rather watch Alien Resurrection.
Oh.
Ooh.
Ooh.
You mean the one with the alien?
I end my case.
The one with the alien that has a dick and vagina on its chest?
Yeah, from the crazy French psychopath. Yeah.
But I mean, it also has Ron Perlman, so
it does have Ron Perlman.
That does make a movie significantly better.
It does.
See the Hellboys.
Yeah. Yeah. No, Hellboy fucking slaps. But yeah. All right, Aaron. What's your base impression or opinion? Deep sigh.
Okay, so
We're off to a great start.
Just like the elongated.
Yeah, that's a Walter starting corpse party session.
I saw it on like midday the day it came out. I was really excited. I can't even say I was really excited. I was just I've known the Wachowskis' past works, and knowing that only Lana Wachowski was working on this one, I knew to expect something. Whether that would be good or not was completely another thing, because I've seen all the Matrix movies, I've seen Cloud Atlas, I've seen Jupiter Ascending, I've seen everything they do, and anytime the Wachowskis are in an interview, listening to Lana Wachowski, she is obviously this bigger idea person. So I go into it kind of expecting somewhat of an experience, and 4 days later, I don't know whether I liked it or not. It's definitely two separate movies. I wish he picked one and just filmed that one. It starts with that meta thing, and then she's got this nice big bowl of meta, and seemingly, oh, you can say something with this. And then she trips over it, breaks the bowl, and says, fuck it, let's just finish the film.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is pretty accurate.
Yeah.
I think actually my opinion probably falls a little closer to that than to just outright hating it, just because I do think that there are ideas there, and I even kind of like the clever kind of like self-referential, like they're making us make a sequel, like, oh, fuck reboots kind of thing. It's like, and handled better. It's really just the execution, I think. Handled better. I was like, this would have been clever.
Yeah.
Or at least my monkey brain would have been like, oh, yes, clever.
Yeah, there's
I mean,
a lot of ideas that I really liked, and a lot of ideas that I appreciated, and I think if it was tweaked or executed in a different way, I would have liked the film a hell of a lot more. But like just so much of just the execution of the meta stuff, especially with just the endless fucking flashbacks to the first 3 films.
Yeah,
I think kept taking me out of it.
I read somewhere that was supposed to be like them, or maybe you told me, James, but that was supposed to be like them showing clips from the game.
Yeah,
right. Like it was supposed to be clips of the game, being like, "Oh my god!" Like Thomas Anderson being like, "Oh, like why is this mirroring this thing I half remember, but also made a game out of?" And the game is the thing that is the visual for, but it's just the previous movies. I just don't think it worked.
Yeah,
especially since you have Matrix games.
there's that one scene where they get to the theater and they're like, "This is footage from your game," and it's literally just showing footage from the first Matrix movie. And I'm just sitting here and it's like, this is taking me out of it, because the fact it's like, this is just the movie, and it's like, I know this is the movie, and it's like if they wanted to save money, as I was joking yesterday when we were watching it with Lee, just fucking use footage from that shitty Path of Neo game, which was like a recap of the 3 Matrix games. But you know, it's also the Matrix. It has a bajillion dollar budget.
Could you imagine if they actually had?
Yeah, it's. I mean,
I would have given.
They should have cut to. Okay, for those of you who aren't
so
into
many
like the
props.
extended lore, Morpheus gets canonically killed off in the Matrix Online video game. I watched the cutscene for how they off Morpheus, and it's like the game does not have impressive visuals. Like some dude in a mask like slithers out of a vent like he's a Heartless from Kingdom Hearts and just plugs Morpheus. And I wish they would have just cut to that shit during this movie. Just like the moment of Thomas and Niobe looking at Morpheus's statue in the ruins of Zion. Just like, Morpheus died, for what he believed in, and then just smash cut to these like PS1 graphics of Morpheus getting gunned down. That would be better than this.
I'm just sitting there going, like, as I mentioned yesterday, that fucking Frankie Muniz movie, Stay Alive, had custom video game footage made just for that fucking movie, and that game doesn't even exist. And I'm like, Warner Brothers, come on, guys. You got the money.
Yeah.
You just make shitty CG cutscenes.
What it reminded me of is very hastily created, almost always direct-to-DVD sequels, where they need to incorporate footage from the more expensive, more successful previous movie to pad out the runtime.
Wait, like what is the... I was just about to say Garbage Day! Where the sequel is like half just reused footage.
Like Underworld Evolution, or there's so many movies that
well, maybe it's just a situation of like they really wanted Hugo Weaving and Lawrence Fishburne, but royalties are cheaper than actual casting payments. So it's
apparently Hugo Weaving was busy, and that was why he couldn't come back.
And not his normal history of not doing sequels.
I mean,
that's actually another thing.
Actually, that's true, because he also didn't come back for what's it called, Red Skull in the Marvel universe.
That was apparently.
So maybe it's just he's like, nah.
No, he was sitting down for the casting meeting for V for Vendetta, and he's like checking 4 times. I die at the end of this shit, right?
Get me out of here.
All right.
That's like. So there's Smith is back, but he's played by a new actor, and I think the new actor does a pretty fucking solid job.
Groff?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
If we're gonna go into cast, then that's actually where I have a lot of good things to say. Let's go on.
The cast was really solid.
I like his performance, but all of his dialogue lacks the weight because it's not fucking Hugo Weaving.
Mhm.
It like so
Yeah.
much of the dialogue is oh, I've missed you, and it's like member berries type shit, but it's like
Mhm.
it would work if it's Hugo Weaving, because one, it's
Yes.
Hugo Weaving, who's a phenomenal actor, and two, he's the one who
Yeah,
played this
mhm.
character. You know?
Yeah.
Yes,
Well, this isn't the first time someone has replaced Hugo Weaving in the Matrix. You got to think about the Bane character in the second and third
in the
movie.
second, yeah.
And like,
I vaguely
if you were to compare the two, like you've got Bane who's doing this pretty bad impression of Hugo Weaving, and then you've got the new guy who's just vaguely doing Hugo Weaving-esque lines.
yeah.
Yeah, and he's not even supposed to he's supposed to be, I think, the same program underneath, but he is supposed to be a different
Yeah.
like entity, right? Like he
Something
is
like that.
Hugo Weaving as a metaphysical being, but like you know what I mean? Like I think it's a little bit more okay. And I really liked New Morpheus.
New Morpheus.
Oh yeah.
I don't remember his
Yahya
character name.
Abdul-Mateen is
Yeah.
he's becoming one of my favorite actors the last like 5 years.
He's great.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
As an unapologetic fanboy of The Greatest Showman, which is where I first saw him, and now he's doing, fucking Candyman.
I loved him in
And
Candyman.
the dude is unreal. I love him.
I know y'all are like, no, Candyman, but I'm like, yes, Candyman.
But yeah, I feel like the Smith recast by Jonathan Groff. It's only because it has to be compared to Hugo that it's like maybe seen as a weaker performance, but it's a great performance for a new character, a new presentation. I absolutely love Jessica Henwick, who plays Bugs Bunny.
Oh, she was great, yeah.
I fell in love with her because I was one of the only 5 people who watched Iron Fist. And
is she in Iron Fist?
Yes, she is.
Okay.
She is one of the leads in Iron Fist.
I don't think I've seen her in anything else, but like I'm excited to see her in more stuff. And I hope she gets to do more.
Yeah, she's extremely good. She I think she's in something Blade Runner related. Like there's a new Blade Runner.
Oh.
Is it the animated one perhaps? Yeah, she's in the animated Blade Runner thing.
Cool.
But
Very cool.
yeah, it's just like, so she was great.
Neil Patrick Harris as Dio was inspired.
Let's talk about Dio. Neil Zawardo Harris. If they did not spoil like 5 minutes before his reveal that he was going to be the antagonist of the film.
Oh God.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Yeah, that if the reveal had happened in the motorcycle repair shop, I would have been like clapping. It was a great villain monologue. It was a great villain moment. But yeah, we just had a throwaway line from New Smith being like, by the way, your therapist is the new architect and the bad guy. And you're like, wait, what? And then they're fighting. And you're like, what? Okay. Which to me, like, it is a problem with this movie, I think, but it's also a thing I've noticed in other movies as well, because Shang-Chi did the exact same thing, and I think I mentioned it while we were watching it, where there was a very important plot point in the very beginning that's just kind of like revealed in a very throwaway line, but that plot point is a huge element of, spoilers for that movie as well. It's the fact that his mom is dead. That plot point is like the central driving force of the villain's like plot to, do what he's doing. It's also a central part of the main character coming to terms with who he is and his place in the world. And it's just like they reveal that in a throwaway line when later on they actually show like her dying heroically to like save them. And it's just like, why would you not have that like just kind of be a thing that like the audience knows, and why say it in just a line? And they did the exact same thing here, where it's just like you're deadening the impact of the reveal by just being like, oh yeah, by the way, this thing's coming up, don't worry about it.
We needed more importance for French hobo scene.
Oh my god.
We'll get to French hobo scene. I
Ugh,
think
why-
they were gearing up to have this great new force. That maybe they can fix it. Maybe they can put it back on the rails, because I feel like they set up NPH's character super strong, and then just in the moment where it counted, just completely neutered him. They have the moment of Neo and Trinity being forced to come to terms with who they are. Is Trinity gonna remember who she is and trust him? And then booyaka! Smith jumps in and just I'm still here. I'm still the villain. It's like, can we just? We had a cool character established to take over the reins of the new antagonist for what is probably going to be another fucking trilogy. So help me. And I feel they were pushing.
This was well enough? Do you think this was well enough received that they'll keep doing it?
It's the Matrix.
It's probably printed a lot of money critically, and I mean it's doing okay critically. It's very divisive for sure, but it depends on.
Honestly, less that I don't want to see another one of these movies, but more that I would rather see new original stuff from the Wachowski sisters.
Yeah, but then you'll get Jupiter Ascending.
Yes, but I feel like they can. All right, listen. I am a huge speedrunner apologist. All right, I'm just okay, listen, James Wan got my letters. James Wan went back and he redid Dead Silence and he made it better with Malignant.
He gifted us
someday the Wachowskis will read my letters and make another original Speed Racer, and it'll be fun and colorful and just a fucking blast.
Make
I believe
Racer
in them.
2. Don't make Matrix 5. Make Speed Racer 2, please. I'm not.
All of my letters are under their fridge, and they'll one day one of them will just be oh, right.
I don't like
this bitch.
I don't like the Wachowski movies, but I love Speed Racer. So give me more Speed Racer.
Yeah.
What?
And if that's the takeaway from this whole thing, yes, more Speed Racer.
Yeah.
And then what?
I guess
got it. Jupiter Ascending 2. No. Please. I don't
Listen, if you can make Jupiter Ascending 2 but make it as fun as Speed Racer, I will watch it and love it. Come on.
Oh, you think you'd be lucky enough to get a Jupiter Ascending 2? You're getting Jupiter Ascending Origins.
Oh, God.
Sorry.
Or how about a Cloud Atlas, but not racist?
Cloud Atlas without the elephant.
That's the truth.
That'd be cool. I liked most of Cloud Atlas, and then I got to that part, and I was like, "Cool, turning this off."
Yep.
My closing gripe on the whole NPH thing is that I feel like they could have kept him standing tall to act as the villain going forward. They pulled what Episode 1 of Star Wars did with Darth Maul that I hated, where they presented him as, okay, here's the new badass. And in the last 30 minutes of the movie, he cements himself. He kills Liam Neeson. He's like, I am the new fucking bad guy. And then they just off him. And I just kept thinking, wow, if they just kept him around for 2 more movies, that'd have been great.
Yeah, but then we wouldn't have gotten Christopher Lee.
You could have still had Christopher Lee.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, but why not?
And on
just not as a big bad.
There can always be more Sith Lords.
On the subject of characters, though, it's so great that we had a bunch of brand new Melvins, and nothing bad ever happens to any of them, and they're just there.
Yeah.
All those.
All right. Yeah. Let's talk about the stakes and how there weren't any.
What's up?
And I can't
Well, actually, I know you had to let Joe out, but I was just talking about how I loved Jessica Henwick and Bugs Bunny.
Oh, they were fine.
The rest of them can fuck right off. I think one was named Sequoia, and I don't remember any of the others.
Yeah, because Sequoia had to explain how his parents met and fucked and created him for a reason.
The immediate backstory of my name's Sequoia. I can see you looking at the tattoo of trees on my arm. Let me tell you about how I was conceived. It's
you're
whoa.
What? You're like, hello, I just met you.
Hello, you're wearing the power armor from Universal Soldier 3.
My parents used the tree sap as lube.
I was sticky.
Oh my God.
But you think about like the lasting, the staying power of the original crew, Dozer, Cypher, Mouse, Switch, APOC, like they were all characters. Even the ones that were smaller time that got off, like APOC and Switch, had personality and had character.
Well, and in addition to having personality and character, they got offed, which is a thing that they just like refused to do in this movie. Everyone was like, "Oh, everything's so dangerous. We can't get caught. We can't get caught." But then we didn't see any real danger. There's
that great scene at the very end, which we'll talk at length about in a little bit, I'm sure, because it's the one really good part of the movie, which is there's a final chase sequence that lasts like a solid 10 minutes, and it's great. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And there's a moment where one of the cars of Protags flips over, and the Swarm, for those of you who have not seen this, the Swarm is essentially a virus program that infects people and turns them into zombies. Mm-hmm. So Matrix 4 has zombies. Work with me here. And the van flips over, and the Swarm are getting into the vehicle. And right when they're getting to their bodies, it cuts to their human selves hooked up in the system, like taking hits and looking like they're getting torn apart without any physical damage getting done to them. It's like, oh, that's fucking horrifying. They're like being torn apart by zombies. And then, no, they're good.
They're good.
They're good.
On a side note, I was okay with the Matrix zombies because they introduced werewolves, vampires, and ghosts in the second one.
Yeah.
So zombies, that's fine.
I had to eat crow and do a total 180 on it because like halfway through the movie, I'm like, this zombie swarm shit's really dumb. And then in that final sequence, I'm like, this is the hypest shit they've thought of all movie.
I
love the movie right there.
I love the final chase.
Them just diving out the window as bombs. Was
yes, like holy shit. What great visuals and like really impactful. And I just wish it had felt more dangerous in that, like we didn't have the fucking Game of Thrones. Oh, the cut away from the protagonists and cut back and they're fine. It's just like, guys, there's literally, give me danger.
There's literally a scene towards the end of that sequence where the van has this horde on top of it, and like Bugs and Morpheus show up, and then it cuts away, and then when it cuts back, all the zombies are gone. There's no bodies, and they're just pulling the people out, and everybody's fine. It's like, all right, cool.
Yeah. Again, Game of Thrones. Fucking whatever, the season 8.
The zombies.
That big battle where we thought so many people were gonna die because, or the fucking winter. I don't even deign to remember what it was called when all the winter zombies came.
Well, the zombies
and everybody was supposed to die.
The long night.
Everybody was supposed to die, but then all of the main characters were just like, "Oh no, I'm getting swarmed. The camera cuts. I'm fine now." And you're like,
the zombies forgot they left the stove on, so they all went home.
All of them simultaneously, as soon as the camera's off, is like, "Oh shit, I gotta go."
Wait, I can't deal with this right now. I gotta go feed my cat.
I think it was more of a thing that George R. R. Martin forgot to give them the list of who dies at the end, so they just went, everybody lose?
Yeah. Oh, they tore up his notes years ago.
We forgot
George was calling them like, "Hey, I watched the latest episode. What's going on there?" And they're like, "Fuck off, George. We got hack frauding to do."
Oh my god. They see George not followed by Lucas on their caller ID and are like, don't answer that.
Don't.
Oh, the poetic beauty of the fact that they sabotaged season 8 and wrapped it early to jump onto a Star Wars project, and then Disney said, "Go fuck yourselves."
That's what you do to stories, no.
Yeah.
And it all ends well because they gave a program to David Cage. Yay!
I can't.
Now we'll get Star Wars done by a creepy sex pervert.
Yeah, I can't wait for sex pervert rights.
Hooray!
There's already a petition to get that game shut down.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I'd believe it.
Mr. Cage, we've read over the final draft of your
Why are there
script here,
rape
and we have a few
ninjas?
questions. Why are there Sith rape ninjas? What's he talking about?
The hat on his desk falls over, full of his ideas that all read
Sith rape ninjas.
Oh,
well, also,
God,
best part of the Game Awards where he was just up on stage, was like, we stand against sexual harassment and all that. Here's a Quantic Dream game.
Yes. they kept doing it too. Like, here's one about like, violence, like sexual abuse in the workplace, and then here's an ad from Riot Games. Like, oh no. And then they call it on. They're like, "Don't run the Blizzard footage. Don't run the Diablo 4 trailer."
Right. Yeah. That's a whole can of worms we shouldn't open on this podcast. But yeah.
But that's an interesting segue to.
I guess that's a good segue to James and I's point.
Well, I was gonna say it's a good segue for the Game Awards existing in 1999, a full 15 years before they were created. Thanks.
James, you know why. You know why now. You saw the tweet.
Yeah, I saw the tweet.
You saw the tweet. You know why.
God damn it.
What tweet is this?
Jeff Keighley fucking self-congratulating the fact that the Game Awards are in the Matrix.
Oh my god.
It has to be some sort of like mutual plug thing or something.
How many hand jobs did you give Jeff? How many?
But
I knew there had to be something because they headlined the Game Awards. It's like,
there you go. There you go. That has to be it. It has to be Warner Brothers being like, hey, we'll fund the Game Awards and we'll plug the Game Awards in the movie, and just some big corporate orgy.
So
of self-interest.
Speaking of self-interest corporate orgies, it's revealed that Thomas Anderson in this version of the Matrix is a world-class game designer. And he created a trilogy of games, that's the Matrix trilogy, that are all beloved, even though in, real world, the only beloved one is really the first one, and the second and third ones are very divisive, but they have their fans, but this movie acts as though the trilogy is perfection, like the Star Wars trilogy and the Lord of the Rings trilogy or whatever. But, that's besides the point. And as we mentioned, they keep showing footage from the game, and it's literally just the fucking movie. And
in 1999.
In 1999.
Oh, yeah.
That good in 1999.
You would think you could throw like an 8-bit filter on it, but no.
Nah. Cell shade that shit. Come on.
And it does the typical Hollywood game dev thing where it's just fucking grandma's boy. Where it's
the most faithful movie of all time.
The most faithful representation of game dev ever. Where it's just one person who makes the game, and they're surrounded by corporate stooges.
Yes,
and
men.
There's this entire pitch meeting where it's this meta thing about what the Matrix is to people, and it's like, oh, it's bullet time, oh, it's trans symbolism, oh, it's philosophy, oh, it's nonstop action, etc., etc. And it's done in the guise of a video game
using a bunch of buzzwords,
and using tons of buzzwords and other stuff, and that was like the single most infuriating moment for me that I nearly turned the film off multiple times, because like
genuinely
I get
every game developer I've talked to who has seen this movie has said that they almost turned the game off at that moment, because it's just so bad. It's such a caricature of
I
like what we do. And on top of that, like sorry, go ahead, James.
I was just gonna say that I get the like they're trying to tie into the meta stuff and incorporate the fan and studio demand for wanting a sequel, because Thomas Anderson's being forced to make a sequel to The Matrix. But for the Wachowskis, and Lana in particular, since she wrote and directed this, who constantly claim that they love video games and they're all about nerd culture and all this other stuff, I'm just so tired of grandma's boy level game dev representation in Hollywood, because it just continues this idea that like it's just super relaxing and it's super fun all the time, and one person makes a game and it's just dude bros all over the place. And I'm gonna I won't speak 100% for James, and I won't speak 100% for everyone in the industry. But as a person who's worked in games for 5 years and done indies before that, it's just incredibly disheartening to still see that be the attitude outside the game industry, that their representation of us is, just like auteur designers up in their ivory towers, and like it completely erases everyone else who actually makes games.
You know, like there's never talk about the artists on the project, the programmers, the other designers, the like
sound team,
down to
QA.
QA. Fuck it. Make Bugs a QA tester. That'd be cute.
Yeah.
That'd be stupid and on the nose, but it'd
Sure.
be cute.
That could have been.
She has to find the bug.
She has to get it.
That actually
All
could
right.
have been the way where she was tracking down who Thomas Anderson was, because they made a plot point of, we scanned everybody at that company and blah 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 blah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
but like,
I'm not asking for much. Just make it a little more accurate than Grandma's Boy. It doesn't have to be 100% faithful, because that's boring.
yeah. Well, see, and that exactly. That's the thing, is that like that's not the point of the movie. So I get that that's not the point of the movie. But like, if you're going to kind of satirize a culture, like at least understand that culture. And like, this movie doesn't understand game development culture.
I don't think it was as much of a bigger statement on game culture. It's the entirety of the movie. This is the part that I was like, that was really setting up a grander idea.
Mm-hmm.
So no, it was not. It was very clearly supposed to be meta commentary on the Matrix itself, but it's using the skin of game development satire, and that's the thing I have a problem with.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to do that, get it right, or don't do it. Do something else, right? Like, obviously, the Wachowskis are big into film. Like, I get that it wouldn't make as much sense. Make it a film thing. Whatever. Make it super meta. Make it another film. Do what Nightmare on Elm Street, right? What was that one sequel where they were New Nightmare. Yeah, New Nightmare. Make it New Nightmare. Whatever. I'm just like, if somebody had made New Nightmare and didn't have any idea how films worked, and basically just were like, well, the director is the only one who matters in this scenario. Like, it would be exactly as tone deaf, and I feel like more people would react to it. But because game dev is such a, like, weirdly not transparent, like, system, like, nobody really understands what happens inside of it until you're in it. It's just like, people just, like, make up whatever the fuck, and most people don't care. And that's what bothers me.
There was
like, Lana, you should care. Like, you should care about the working people. That's what your original movie was about.
There was some random comment I saw on a YouTube video that just said, even though it would have on the surface seemed like overplayed, Thomas Anderson should have been a writer and written The Matrix. And Trinity gone, yeah, I read your book. I really, like, clicked with this character in a way that, like, fucks with her head. Like, okay, you're super on the nose for taking the writer route, but it's going to be way more effective than this.
It wouldn't be any less on the nose compared to Stephen King, where every single protagonist is a fucking writer.
True.
Well,
from Maine.
If I could just play devil's advocate on the whole gamer scene, the scene itself is Keanu Reeves. It's this weird montage of him taking the blue pill constantly.
Yeah.
And dealing with day after day after day of this development. And it's the commentary of the creator who has grander ideas of what this was, and then listening to watered down, washed out, bite-sized commentary of what other people think
I get that.
The Matrix is.
I get that.
No, and I totally get that too, and I think that part is good. That's what I think that was a good idea.
In the realm of having that discussion in a montage, it works better in a game development type setting, because there would naturally be a whole bunch of people in a room, other than a film discussion, because there'd be less people. Or if you're just a writer,
I disagree.
You hear about the editor at that.
You hear about writers' rooms all the time for movies,
like the whole
pitch rooms and stuff.
The whole Marvel writers' rooms or whatever. I mean, that's another thing too.
Yeah.
It could have been a television series, like the original television series, The Matrix.
I get why they did video game, because The Matrix is all about computers and code, so it works better on that level as a metaphor for that. But again, I'm angry as somebody coming, like, again, this is a very personal rant. Yeah. This is not a, like, if I was not in game development, I probably wouldn't even have noticed or cared. but because I am, and like I know how these things work internally, and seeing them portrayed externally as just like flavor that, you know, casually erases half the work put into, you know, what we do. And
I'm just so sensitive to it because I've spent the last 11 years, and I tell people that I work in game dev and I'm in QA, and if they're outside of game dev, 99.9% of them always go, "Oh, like Grandma's Boy," and it's just, I'm so tired of that. That
I think we're missing
and whatnot.
I think we're missing the most important part here,
Remember
though, James, is that Grandma's Boy had Neo in it.
Oh yeah.
Did it?
I think we're missing
at least the guy who thought he was.
Oh yeah.
I think we're missing an even bigger point. More people have seen Grandma's Boy than they should have.
Yeah, it's really upsetting.
That is true. The fact that is like the cultural touchstone for people understanding QA is like, how many of you watched Grandma's Boy?
It's so goddamn infuriating. Like, it still fucking happens. It's 2021. All right, almost 2022.
Yeah.
And people have fucking go, "Oh, like Grandma's Boy." No, shut up.
YouTube exists, and people still reference Grandma's Boy.
Yeah, right.
I got an idea.
Why is that a cult film? God damn it.
All right, dig on this. So you know how every so often a movie comes along that tries to give you like that realistic, gritty inside look at a profession? Like, it's happened with cooking, I feel like, a lot. There's been a lot of movies about like, here's 2 hours about what it feels like to really be like going for a Michelin star. Okay, you do one of those, and it's just this 2-hour soul crusher of a movie about a guy and his team trying to get their game to gold, and it's called Crunch.
Oh my god!
Directed by Aaron Sorkin.
Oh, yes, please!
You're joking,
holy shit!
Like, you're joking about that.
I would pay so much money for that.
That's literally been in the back of my mind as writing a screenplay for
me
like,
too.
the last 8 years or whatever. I even have kind of like a framing device and like the 3-act.
Oh, we've talked about it at the yard.
Yeah, the 3-act structure is alpha, beta, gold. And just the slow deterioration of the team and like the underlining theme would basically be like the camaraderie that forms between the team members and whatnot, despite the insurmountable odds of working fucking non-goddamn stop and losing your fucking mind.
How optimistic of you. No, I want this to end like leaving Las Vegas. I want this to end as a fucking train wreck.
Well, no, the end is a train wreck because the end is everybody gets laid off.
Yeah, there you go.
There it is. Yes.
That's the end.
It's real.
It's real. It happens. The game goes
cold.
The game is released and it's review bombed for being too woke.
Oh my god.
the game
all right, we're pivoting.
And then it gets review bombed. It's great.
No.
But yeah. But yeah, remember the
Speaking
Matrix?
of woke, Matrix Resurrections.
Remember the Matrix? Remember it? Do you remember?
Yeah, we get it, Lana. Non-binary. I get it. It's very clever.
But do you remember the Matrix? Do you?
Yeah.
Do you?
I do.
Because you know, new Morpheus has to sound like Lawrence Fishburne for one scene, and then new Smith has to sound like Old Smith for one scene, and then French Hobo talking about sequel franchise reboot spinoff.
Yeah, it has to yell about like, oh my god, all of his lines were just like,
I still don't know why the Merovingian was in it, but okay.
Yeah,
because
sure.
French Hobo.
Yeah,
why not?
sure.
French Hobo.
French Hobo.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to like the Merovingian, but then that scene showed up and was like, wow, you are a clown. Okay, bye.
Yeah. And Aaron, I think I agree with you on that. Like, this feels like two movies. And like, because when I was watching it, I was very much like, I liked the new crew a lot, even though they're not given a whole lot of characterization, which, okay, fine. They're side characters, right? I get it, but they should have been. And also, I think, you know, even though it wouldn't have put as many butts in seats, it might have been cool just to have them be the main characters, and the point of this movie being like them looking for Neo the whole time.
Yeah, that
like,
would have been neat.
Like give us these characters, give us this, like, you know, sprawling introduction to the new Matrix,
Yeah,
And
something
then-
something a little more transitionary, because this is a
Yes.
new Matrix. If he's the one because of the code, this is a new Matrix. This is a new code. He's not the one anymore.
Oh, yeah, like they're looking for him, and then it's like, oh wait, you are not the one, and like we need to find the one now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
So
man, that yeah.
So basically,
That'd be
Blade Runner 2049.
Hey,
I
listen.
mean, I'd be down for that. I'd be down for that. I'm in agreement.
Yeah.
Like, just do it
Yeah.
like Blade Runner 2049, where
Well, exactly.
the
I mean,
entire
I
thing
feel
is
like
Ryan Gosling looking for Harrison Ford, and then him convinced he's the one. He's spoilers for 2049 that he's Harrison
I
Ford's
mean,
kid.
it's sort of like that, but
And
I'm
then-
talking about like the reverse, where
Yeah.
it's these new kids looking for Neo to be the one, and he's like, no.
Yeah, sure. But then,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, Gosling is still not Harrison Ford's kid. He's a nobody.
Yeah, and like Blade Runner 2049 is very, highly regarded in many groups.
I like it.
I think it's more highly regarded than most late sequels.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
What I've learned about Blade Runner is I've got to wait at least 5 edits before I watch it.
Nah,
So-
I mean, I mean, you're half right.
Watch the final cut. It's
Yeah.
it's ready for you.
Villeneuve always. I don't think there's ever been a director's cut for a Villeneuve film. He's never done like an extended cut of.
He's
something.
No.
He's
Oh,
good.
give me a 6-hour cut of Doom.
Yeah, his
baby.
cut's the final cut. That's it.
Yeah, give it 10 years, and I'm sure fucking old man Ridley and his senile nature will fucking go back and recut Blade Runner again, because
Oh, good God.
I have to add a scene where Harrison Ford plays the flute with a CGI Harrison Ford, and more Christ-like metaphors. The unicorn is. We must crucify the unicorn.
God, he reminds me of that meme of C.S. Lewis. Or I don't know if you guys have seen it, but it's 2 interviewers. One's talking to Tolkien, and says, "Yeah, do you want to make a comment on how your history in World War One affected your writing?" Tolkien's like, "No, I appreciate the question, but no, I want the books and stories to speak for themselves." And then interviewer asking C.S. Lewis. He's about to get a word out of his mouth, and then Lewis just cuts him off. "If the reader does not understand that the lion is Jesus, I will kill everyone and then myself."
Beautiful.
Wow.
Well, speaking of lion Jesuses, do we have anything else to say about the Matrix?
Oh, is Keanu Reeves the lion in this metaphor?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, look, have you seen his hair? It's wonderful.
That's-
It's a fucking lion
that's
king,
true.
God damn it.
That's true. He's got
a
great
wonderful
hair.
Man.
That's true.
Closing feelings is new cast members did absolutely great. I think even Carrie Ann Moss decided to try. Keanu phoned it in harder than someone trying to get out of the Matrix in a booth.
Not as hard as he did in the Bill and Ted movie, the new one.
That's fair.
like the Bill and
I
Ted
didn't see
movie,
that
though.
one.
I thought he was
I like
fine
it
in
too,
that.
but he phoned it in hard.
I think it could be that just recency. I'm spoiled by what a good performance he gave in Cyberpunk, so I'm kind of comparing it to
Yeah.
that.
Go watch Replicators. Whatever, the sci-fi one he did that's like 20% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh jeez. I put it at the very bottom. I think it's a perfect curve. I think the movies have just gotten worse. I think first is the best, and then Reloaded, the third one, and then this piece of shit. I'm not a fan of it, except for the new casting, which just goes to show that like if they just went all in on this new wave of characters and casting, they could have really had something.
Yes.
Make Jessica Henwick the main character.
Oh
great.
yes.
Make Yahya Mateen the other strong lead, and just not make him Morpheus, make him somebody else, and then
Yeah.
Neil Patrick Harris as the villain, and you've got a fucking movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
I get that doesn't put butts in seats, but like Keanu Reeves is back, but like, man, dude, I want that. Oh, go ahead.
I think my whole issue with the movie was, has anybody seen the movie Adaptation?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
It's that movie. It's Lana Wachowski saw Adaptation, said I want to do a Charlie Kaufman, and then forgot what Adaptation was about.
Well, I think she saw that movie and said, you guys are making me do a fucking Matrix sequel? Fine, but I'm doing adaptation.
Yeah, but then she didn't say anything about it. Like, it seemed like she was going to say something about it, and then she actually did it. And it's like, no, the whole point that the third act of adaptation was a joke.
Yeah.
Is that it was purposefully bad.
It was nonsense.
Yeah.
You weren't supposed to actually follow through with it.
maybe Warner Brothers saw like an early cut and they were like, Lana, no.
Lana, please.
Lana, stop.
No, hold on. We shouldn't theorize. Then we're going to get fucking release the Wachowski cut.
But while we have a disagreement about the earlier movies, I still agree. Yeah, this is the worst Matrix movie.
Yeah. My final thoughts are a lot of really, really great ideas that just kind of flopped for me on the execution. Unfortunately, we didn't get too much into this, but I'm going to be a little bit mean here and say that the very first fight scene in Arcane, where it's just like the little kids fighting in the street, had more danger and exciting choreography than any of these fights in this sequel.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I was very disappointed in, especially given that it's a sequel to a movie to a series that basically defined how sci-fi action is filmed for like decades. And then to just have this be like, meh, like worse than like Marvel fight scenes. I'm like, y'all, come on.
I guess my final thought is just remember the Matrix.
Yep.
Go watch it.
Yep.
That's it. I have nothing else.
So segue.
But segue, we also decided
to a movie.
We decided to watch Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City, and we were all expecting it to be a dumpster fire. And if you would have asked us a year ago, hey, do you think that Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City is going to be a better movie than The Matrix 4? I think we all would have told you to shut the fuck up. You're out of your goddamn mind.
Listen. If you had told me the minute I had finished watching The Matrix Resurrections, and before I even start, like the day before we watched Raccoon City, if Raccoon City would be the better movie, I would have laughed you out of the room. I mean, but here we are.
I could just simply say that I like the movie, but it's just a little crush, not like a fan every time we touch. This movie fucking slaps, y'all.
Oh my god!
Illegal how much we like this movie? It's not.
It's literally. It should not have been as good as it was.
It's not supposed to work.
How the fuck? And before we get into it, Twitter. I'm coming for you.
Yeah, Twitter. We gotta talk.
Whoever amongst you bullied that beautiful man who played Leon off of Twitter, go fuck yourselves.
Yeah. And also,
he was flawless.
And also, to quickly circle back too, because we're now hating on Twitter. Whichever ones of you think that comparing The Matrix 4 and Star Wars The Last Jedi to the reception that Twin Peaks The Return got, go fuck yourself. Like, this isn't a comment about if you like Matrix 4 or if you like The Last Jedi. That's fine. But the Twin Peaks fan base kind of was very, very warmly receiving of The Return, unlike the divisiveness of Last Jedi and Matrix 4. So, yes. And also, fuck you for bullying Leon off Twitter, you assholes. He's himbo.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Fucking James, you're just like, we're shit talking Twitter. I got a bone to pick with you.
I got a bone. I've been so mad about that.
Oh my god. No, he was perfect. but he didn't look like the character. Who gives a shit?
Nobody looked like their character.
He looked like Chris
did.
Oh, fuck off.
Chris
Chris
was the only one who looked like Chris.
Chris.
Chris was like exactly perfect casting visually, and he nailed the himbo.
And I'm doubling down on a dose of Donald Logue as Chief Irons.
Oh my god,
perfect! So fucking good.
Perfect.
Like, and I wasn't.
But like,
all right, let me set the scene for this one. So, for those of you out there in the world, Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City was a movie that was feared in the pipeline for a lot of its development because, well, let's just say the past live-action Resident Evils haven't always been the most faithful of adaptations, down to Paul W.S. Anderson casting his OC Do Not Steal DeviantArt original character wife as his lead character. And essentially just making millions of dollars off of fan fiction for the last decade.
Mm-hmm.
And then when this came out, the word was out. We're combining the first two games into one film. Games that happen roughly at the same time, but very different from each other with totally different casts of characters, and that's an ambitious that's an ambitious sandwich.
Mm-hmm.
But they managed to pull it off. They have the two events happen basically simultaneously. Pulled it off. I thought the pacing was very good. We could have spent a little more time in Resident Evil 1 world, but you know what? I think organizing the big visit to the mansion, like halfway through the movie, was done very well.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know about you guys. I didn't expect this to try to carry such a sense of, like, not tongue-in-cheek, because it wasn't, but it tried to, like, leave itself open to being more of a lighter experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It didn't try to be this super gritty horror film.
Mm-hmm.
It had an almost like Guardians of the Galaxy kind of vibe and soundtrack to it.
Which I feel like was 100% the right move to go with. Like, yes, there's still elements of like body horror and creepy shit, but it's like, I mean, we talked about like, yeah, the CG is still not great. Like the dog looked not good, and
if
the liquors weren't. Yeah.
Fuck, if I've got to see one more Resident Evil movie end with a half-baked tyrant, I am fucking done.
But like, that's the thing, is that like, I feel like they knew that, and therefore kind of like catered their tone more to that of like, yeah, well, that's how these games are, right? Like, play the original Resident Evil 1 or Resident Evil 2, and like, they're not Oscar-winning scripts or, stories, right? They're like, they're fun, crazy, weird nonsense.
Yeah, it's the Resident Evil series, like even the worst entries, like 6, right? There is this warmth and sincerity and genuineness to the writing. It's schlock, it's stupid.
Yes.
But there's this genuine admiration and of just looking through this weird lens of a Japanese writer writing American super cops, basically.
Yeah.
And like,
and I feel like that's what they captured here
for the most part. Yeah, I mean, fucking even Resident Evil 6, it ends with fucking Jake's campaign ends with fucking Jake and Sherry defeating the final monster with the power of fucking love. It's schlock, but yeah, it's warmth and sincerity.
Specifically, like, that's what they captured here, and it's like, it's hard to capture that tone without going too overboard into like schlocky B territory, or basically trying to do what the other Resident Evil movies try to do, where they take it so self-seriously and they're like trying to really incorporate all the stuff, and it just all kind of falls a little bit flat, and it's not scary, and it's not anything. It's so serious, and we're gonna talk at each other in gravelly voice about how serious this virus is. But like, this movie was like, nope, crazy virus shit happening, and we're gonna quit.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is illegal. Like,
this was genuinely illegal.
This was supposed to be our dumpster fire movie.
Yeah, we were ready. We were like, okay, we watched The Matrix, it disappointed us. Let's just have a hate fest. We were like, riffs on, like, let's go. And like, I mean, it wasn't like with Autopsy of Jane Doe or anything where like we all went silent because it was so good, but we were all like laughing like with the movie and not at it.
Yes.
Or not in spite of it. That fucking crush scene.
Good God, that was perfection.
Oh,
yes. We went from going, oh, come the fuck on movie, to we see what you're doing and we fucking love it. All right, to set it up, it's basically the quasi intro of Resident Evil 2, where the truck driver is infected with the zombie virus and he's changing as he's driving the truck, and the truck crashes, right? Except for in this case, it's crashing directly right in front of the entrance to the RPD. And we have Leon, it keeps cutting to Leon, who's sitting at the front desk asleep because he's basically the cop on guard for the 24-hour shift or whatever.
Front door's open, by the way.
Front door is wide fucking open. And one thing of note, too, that I read this online that somebody pointed out is that Leon is kind of very mopey towards the start of the movie. And it may tie into his deep cut lore from one of the Resident Evil art books about how Leon was dumped by his girlfriend, the events before Resident Evil 2. So that's why he was late in RE2, because he got drunk and was depressed, and that might be the thing here, especially because as he's sitting there sleeping at the desk, he's listening to Crush by Jennifer Page, and it keeps cutting back and forth, and then the truck flips and it explodes, and Leon doesn't wake up. And we're like, come the fuck on, dude. It's an explosion. Of course you would fucking wake up. What the fuck? But then, the movie turns into a beautiful butterfly as the truck driver walks into the RPD, completely on CG fire, and the Crush by Jennifer Page is still fucking playing. And it ends
In fact, louder than before.
Louder than before. And it ends as he's about to get to the front desk, and Donald Logue just fucking brains him. And that's what wakes Leon up. This gunshot right next to his fucking head. It's magnifique.
There has only been a handful of times when I've been all in on a movie so early.
Yeah.
I think with Cabin of the Woods, like I went in going absolutely nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And first 3 minutes is like, I gotta go pre-order this on Blu-ray. This is the movie of the year, and that's only 3 minutes in. That's this scene. As soon as the guy walks in on fire and Crush is playing, I'm just like, so when can I buy this?
Yeah, like I'm on board now.
Yep.
And I think that's a reason that that the movie has been getting negatively received. Which, funny enough, if you look at the Rotten Tomatoes, its score is very low, but the audience score is pretty fucking solid.
Mm-hmm.
So take that for what you will.
Yeah. And
I feel like the people who bought
justified to me, kind of.
I feel like people.
Yeah, it makes sense.
I feel like the people who go into it, I think it's because people forget the source material, I guess is the best way I can put it. Like, people walk into a Resident Evil movie going, yeah, let's, horror game, survival horror, and fight some zombies. And they're forgetting the roots of it all, which is, it's camp. It's meant to be silly. And so for this movie to represent that, I think is why it was getting, less than favorable attention.
I think it's that, and some of the more anal Resident Evil fans who want it to be 100% accurate, because the movie does tease stuff from the games, like the giant shark and the giant snake. But you have to keep in mind that this movie's budget is pretty fucking small, right? I think I read it was like $20 million, which explains the bad fucking CG.
Although, that does explain it.
With like a better team, maybe the CG could have worked out, because like District 9, for example, had a relatively
better
small
teams
budget,
cost money.
This movie isn't. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, it pays attention and gets a lot of other details right. Like the RPD looks like the RPD.
Holy shit!
The
the
Spencer
sets.
Mansion looks like the Spencer Mansion.
Yeah.
It was like shockingly good.
Little unnecessary,
or shockingly accurate.
Yeah, little unnecessary touches like that. The thing that I mentioned with Leon being mopey, that could have been a reference to the fucking games, or the fucking ammo boxes, which were taken directly from the fucking games.
The first aid sprays,
spray, the keys, a lot of the
keys,
like posters.
It's all very. Yeah, it's all very, like, cute and well done, and, like, the attention to detail is clever and not in your face. And even, there are some more very obvious game references, like they do Itchy Tasty, and they maybe play it for, like, a beat or two too long. When they have the zombies screaming it, it's, like, a little bit like, okay, like, we get the shot of, the first zombie has scratched Itchy Tasty onto the like glass of the window in blood. We get the shot of it from like Claire's point of view through the window backwards. We get the shot of it front on so you can actually read it. And then when the zombie bursts in, she's screaming that.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of like, that was maybe a beat too far. But at the same time, I was like, I just watched The Matrix, and this is actually kind of subtle.
Yeah,
in comparison.
That was the only creative choice that they made that I took some issue with. Was I didn't like how just the ghouls were presented. I hated the shots of the iconic shots of the ghouls at the gates of the RPD trying to get through. Like that's such an image. And then they're all screaming like "Let me in" and shit. And I keep thinking of the Eric Andre skit where he's at the gate of the White House. And I'm like, just give me boring zombies.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's okay to have them be boring zombies.
Yeah, I will say I liked the bleeding of the eyes to show that somebody was infected. I thought that was kind of cool.
I like
or the way the dog was represented, like turning.
The way the dog was before the dog decided to become a PlayStation 3 graphic was really, really cool. Like, it was subtle enough.
It's an homage.
It was creepy.
Yes.
Know? Like,
that was the thing I was going to say. Just really quick was this is one of those great cases of a movie that would have benefited from just using more practical.
Yeah.
Because the CG that was bad was really noticeable.
Yeah.
And the practical that was used was great. Like the outfit for Lisa Trevor.
Yeah, I was going to say Lisa
very,
fantastic.
very fucking good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then you contrast that to fucking Legend of Chun-Li M. Bison turning into a tyrant, and I'm just oh no.
Yeah. I mean, the liquor wasn't as bad. I feel like that's probably where most of the budget
liquor
went.
was fine. The crows and dogs were awful.
I'm just assuming they ripped the liquor straight from the PS4 game and just slapped it in there.
Oh, just took the asset? Yeah.
Because it's pretty fucking on brand. I mean, it was.
It's pretty close looking.
Yeah, I mean. Yeah. But it was.
There was a lack of X, and he did not give it to us. Which
I will say, I was a little bit disappointed in the fact that they did not have, like, Wesker betrayed everyone, but he was not the shit-heeled double. Yeah. He was not the shit-heeled double agent that I wanted him to be in the end. He was a little too nice. I personally, like, I'm a big Wesker fan, but also, like, I liked the actor. I liked whatever his name was.
Oh yeah, Himbo Wesker was great.
Who was playing him? Yeah, I thought he was
Tom
doing.
Hopper, I think his name is.
I thought he was doing a great job, and in the moments where he was kind of like doing like duplicitous shit, where he was like, "Oh, I'm going to this locker," and like sneaking around, I was like, "Okay, cool. Like you're gonna do it. You're gonna become like campy evil at the end." And then he was just like, "I'm sorry, Chris. I wasn't gonna ice that kid," and then dies. And I was like,
"Bullshit,
Wesker, no!" Like,
bullshit.
Yeah, and bullshit.
He was gonna ice that kid.
I also have to say, Barry. Where's Barry? Like, seriously.
You can't put Barry in the movie. He would have handled everything too quickly.
I need my big, dumb, bearded himbo with a magnum. Where's my?
I mean, to be fair, he doesn't fix the game. He doesn't end the game any sooner.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
So,
yeah, you could have fit him in. I mean,
yeah,
and also, like, one other minor nitpick, like, you could have cut Sherry entirely from this fucking movie. She's
absolutely.
She had no fucking role.
I was also mad that Annette did not get to be villainous Annette. Yeah. Because I love her as a villain. And just like that trauma for Sherry of both of them being like evil mad scientists, and she's like, "Oh, I'm gonna grow up and fucking like
bang Wesker's
save
son.
The world, I guess." Bang Wesker's son, yeah. It's just like
that'll learn.
That shit's great. That shit's great, and I love that, and I missed that. And we thought that's where the movie was gonna go, because like I think Lee commented being like, "Oh yeah, they like already they're kind of hinting to Annette's like inner craziness." But no.
Yeah.
Wasn't anything. She was just the sad, scared mom who Wesker shoots right away.
Yeah.
Now, here's a piece of juicy casting information that I uncovered, very relevant to this podcast. Because I was going through the cast names and I'm like, yeah, I really liked the whole Lisa Trevor thing. That was really cool. And the actress for Lisa Trevor is the same person as Gabriel from Malignant.
Yeah.
Yo.
Really?
Yeah.
Let's fucking go.
Bravo.
Hell yeah.
No wonder I love this movie.
Let's fucking go.
Oh man. I feel like this has been a great year for camp. If you're into camp, this was your year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been a tough one to beat.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's hitting hard.
Tom Hopper is Wesker, and I liked him a lot.
Apparently he was on Game
So
of
much
Thrones
camp.
as a Tarly. And I guess he's
Oh.
I
Sure.
think on Black Sails as a
Oh,
recurring role.
yeah. He was Dick on Tarly, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was Dick on, I think.
Oh, wow.
Oh my
shit.
god.
Avon, I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name correctly, and I'm so sorry. Avon Jogia is Leon.
Avon Yogia.
Avon Yogia?
Yeah, I'm not sure what his name, how to
Perfect.
pronounce that, but
Perfect.
god damn, he's great.
Yeah.
Flawless. Absolutely
Claire was
wonderful.
good.
A wonderful
Jill was
Leon.
good.
Yeah. Claire and Jill were great.
But
Oh, this
Leon and
motherfucker-
Chris were beautiful himbos, which is all I asked
Fucking-
for.
Yeah.
Fucking Leon was in a 2017 rendition of Midsummer Night's Dream as Puck.
Ah.
Oh, give me
Nice.
that. I'm gonna track that shit down.
God, yeah,
There you go.
it's,
But yeah.
I find myself in that really awkward position of like, any talking about this movie that I'd be doing, I think would just come out as gushing, because
Mhm.
I fucking really dug this.
Yeah, and I don't like that I did. I'm really upset.
No.
I'm really upset. I cannot stress how upset I am at how
I think
much
the
love
last
this
time I
movie.
had this much fun at a video game adaptation movie was the new Sonic.
Are you
Genuinely.
saying you didn't have fun when we forced you to watch Battle for Man Island, Cat? The 95 Battle for Man Island?
Oh, you're right. I meant a new one, not well. No, I guess Mortal Kombat, the new one, the one from last year.
This was better than Mortal Kombat.
This was definitely better than Mortal Kombat, but
Yeah.
but that one was also still fun. I don't know. Maybe we're finally in the era of decent video game adaptations.
Will you say
I feel like
that,
we're getting
and then
close.
you-
Uwe Boll has stopped doing anything.
Well, I was gonna say you say that, and then probably tomorrow it's gonna be like Uwe Boll directs, I don't know, fucking Jack
Okay.
and Daxter.
All right, be
Uwe
careful.
Boll
You said-
directs
no,
Silent Hill.
I was about to say, you said his name 2 times. Don't say the 3rd time.
Oh God!
Don't think it. Don't say it. Don't think it. Don't say it.
we just hear the Discord ping of someone else entering the voice. I'm like,
I hear you talking shit about my movies.
I challenge you to a boxing fight.
Oh wait, here we go. There's the team up. Let's get Uwe Boll and David Cage to work on something together
Oh,
for a
God.
live action Detroit.
do you think
No.
Uwe Boll would beat up David Cage?
Yes.
Oh, absolutely.
David Cage.
Okay.
That'd be the
David Cage
after
is a
credit
fucking
sequence.
weakling. David Cage is a fucking weakling.
Wait, which one of the Pauls is a boxer now? Logan Paul or Jake Paul?
Both of them.
But I don't know.
They both
I want
do
to say
boxing.
Uwe Boll beat them up. That's
Yeah, I
what I
would
want
love
to
to
see.
see that.
Jake Paul's
That would
the
be
big boxer
great.
right now.
I would love
That would
to
be
see
great.
Jake Paul just got a KO like a week ago, I think. I think he's 7-0 undefeated right now.
Bullshit.
That. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think
I have no
Boll-
comment. I don't know anything about this.
I don't know much about it outside of it keeps popping up, but I if I recall, Uwe Boll did actually do the whole boxing thing with film critics, and I think he did go undefeated. Like nobody.
Yes, he did.
He knocked everybody out.
But- But I mean,
Of course he did.
he went up against writers. I mean,
Exactly.
come on.
Yeah, but nobody's expecting a fucking film director to be fucking swole.
Except it's Uwe Boll. Expect
Yeah.
everything.
Expect everything except for quality film.
Yes, correct. like what do you think
Expect-
he's been doing all these years? It hasn't been getting good at filmmaking, all right?
No, it hasn't. And I
It's,
mean,
Expect a tax dodge. That's what you're going to get from Uwe Boll.
Yeah.
A movie that will
Allegedly.
fail.
All that time,
Allegedly.
Hold on. There is one other thing.
Don't beat us up, Uwe
all that time that could have been spent like reading books on film theory, he just spent looking into a small broken mirror and punching his fist into concrete.
Look, there is one other thing we can expect from Uwe Boll, and that's content for Gooncast, because we still have to go through
Oh my god.
his films.
That's right, we do.
Oh, we should just make it a whole episode of just like it's the Uwe Boll cast.
Do you
Just
know?
Yeah.
Do you know how many fucking video game based movies he's done? Do you know how fucking
Way,
long that would
way
be?
too many.
12 or
It's like
something?
20.
Yeah, it's closer to like 20. It's obscene, because there's a lot of
It's-
straight to DVD ones.
Yeah.
Let's see. He did House of the Dead. He did Alone in the Dark,
Yep.
Blood Rain,
Far Cry.
In the Name of the King, Blood Rain 2, Postal, Alone in the Dark 2. Oh no, he didn't direct Alone in the Dark 2. Far Cry,
Oh God, Far Cry.
Blood
Yeah.
Rain 3.
Oh no, he did stuff this year.
Blubberella.
Okay, can
which
we-
is another
can we-
Blood Rain. In the Name of the King 2.
Can we do a Uwe Boll like ranking?
Yes.
Oh
Kind of
no.
like Red Letter Media's John
I'm
Carpenter
not
one.
going to
Yes.
watch that many movies.
Oh, and In the Name
Yes,
of the King 3.
like they did with John Carpenter, except we're gonna be even worse.
I've only seen one Uwe Boll movie, and that was Alone in the Dark. It was bad,
I've seen
Oh.
but it wasn't
4.
as bad as I thought it was going to
Yeah, let me think about that. I've seen House of the Dead. I've seen Alone in the Dark.
I saw the one where the guy like shoots up a thing where he goes like crazy.
Postal, maybe?
Oh, Postal.
Oh no, not Postal. The
Rampage?
one Rampage. Thank you.
Okay. Well, that's not a
And then
video
I think
game,
I've seen one of the sequels, but it was a different person and it was
Mm.
very different.
And Alone in the Dark is...
And then I watched something else of his too.
Alone in the Dark is Schlock favorite Christian Slater.
No,
Amazing.
you gotta
And
watch
Terror
House of the Dead for my favorite film quote of all time. You did all this to be immortal. Why? So I could live forever. Fuck yeah.
What's also
That's writing.
no, what's also amazing. I do know one thing about Alone in the Dark, which is genuinely amazing too. Is there's this shot. It's a dolly shot, right, of the character standing there with guns, like blasting away zombies, and it's supposed to look at all cool as the camera pans back. But then you actually see the dolly rails on the bottom of the screen, and it just keeps going and going and going.
Oh my god.
It's like magnifique. Although I hear Alone in the Dark 2 is a much better film, but that's because he didn't direct it. But
There's
I
an
don't know.
Alone in the
boy.
Dark too.
Yes.
Oh.
And there's a House of the Dead 2, and there's 3 Blood Rains and 3 In the Name of the Kings. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a sequel to Far Cry.
Fantastic.
I just clicked on Alone in the Dark 2's page, and the first sentence of the synopsis has me. Former witch hunter Abner Lundberg, played by Lance Henriksen,
Oh,
is forced to come back to fight his old nemesis, a century-old
dun.
witch out on the prowl.
Lovely.
Dun.
Oh
Dun.
no!
And,
Wow.
he also did
Can-
he also did Blubberella, which is a parody film of his own Blood Rain 3.
oh my god.
And then also
That's
I'm
amazing.
looking at his filmography, and he has a 2011 movie that's it's just called Auschwitz, and I don't feel comfortable anymore.
No.
I'm sure
No.
it's very tactfully,
It's
I'm
extremely
sure it's very
tasteful.
sensitively written.
Uh-huh. Yep.
Oh Jesus!
With
With no negative stereotypical depictions of the Jewish people.
Watching it is a ticket to HR. It's just
Yeah. I really, really want to watch all of his video game adaptations, and then for the Gooncast to just be like a solid hour of all of us like screaming maniacally.
Yeah, we can do it.
Because I feel like that's what will happen once we get through 20 of his movies.
We can do it. We'll do it.
I actually think watching all of his movies is against the AMA. I wouldn't do it.
It's against a lot of things.
It's against
It might be a war crime.
against a lot of things, but you know, we do a lot of shit on this Gooncast and a lot of shit on Twitch that we
suffer.
We suffer for our craft. We suffer so people can get entertainment. and you know, Aaron, look at it this way. At least, you know, for your first Gooncast, right? You got to watch something good. I think it took like Mike like 3 or 4 Gooncasts before he finally got to watch.
Oh, we
something
made that
good.
man suffer.
He's like, why are you
Mike had a whole initiation.
A hazing, if you will.
Exactly.
When will I ever get to watch something good? And it's like, I swear, it's not our fault. We didn't realize Spiral and Conjuring were going to be this fucking awful.
Oh, boy.
Conjuring was a surprise, but Spiral, come on, you should have expected that.
Here, Saw's dumb, but it's a fun kind of dumb. Like I've genuinely enjoyed all of the Saw movies for how stupid they get. Like they're really fucking dumb though, right?
But Chris Rock, totally known for his horror.
Totally known for his horror, but I was willing to give it a chance because it's something new and unique. And then instead we just got Low Rent 7.
Yeah. It was 7 meets fear.com.
Yeah.
And it didn't do either of those well.
Well, that was the issue of okay, I want to try and approach him as a serious actor. Fine, I'll give anybody that shot. My favorite movie is Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, and that's Jim Carrey in a dramatic performance. But then the motherfucker opens the movie with like a 5-minute stand-up routine. I'm like, all right, your chance has been blown. That's sorry. Right. You're just Chris Rock now.
Yeah.
No, you gotta give him a chance in the newest season of Fargo. He does really well.
I hear that's really good.
Oh.
Actually.
I didn't know he was in Fargo. That's pretty cool.
He's one of the main characters of the season.
Oh, cool. I'm always down, so I didn't and I didn't even I didn't hate his performance. It was just the movie itself
was boring
Saw poorly.
Yeah, it did.
It was just
it wasn't the fun kind of dumb. It was just the infuriating kind of dumb.
And there were way too many Pulp Fiction references.
Yeah, it was weird.
I was like, I know you got Samuel L. Jackson, but can we not?
We don't need to go back down this spiral.
That's true.
Well, yeah.
Oh man.
I'm gonna go find a ceiling beam that'll support my body weight. I'll be right back.
God.
Well, I guess. Final thoughts on Resident Evil before we discuss what we've been doing recently, and then we end.
Fuck the haters. Don't listen to the negative press. Don't listen to the sheeps. This movie rocked. It needs to be approached with the mentality that it is not a straight up horror action fest. This needs to be tackled with a little bit of lightheartedness. And if you can set that aside, then sit back and relax for a banger soundtrack. It had the Cardigans 5 minutes into it.
I think that's when it won Lee over.
Well, yeah, that's when it started to win me over, and then Crush happened, and I'm like, well, there's 2 late 90s blonde pop bombshells that made me question things at 10 years old. Like, let's keep this going. Absolutely.
I'm in the same boat. It's a very fun, riffable movie. That's just it's just fun. It's lighthearted, and it's it does a really it does a really great job capturing a lot of what made those games really enjoyable for me personally. And seeing the references never felt over the top. It felt like a very loving homage. So if you're into that kind of thing, great. If you want a super strict adaptation or a really Oscar-worthy movie, it's probably not for you.
Yeah, there's always a question as to how well you can adapt a video game, and a lot of people point to the newest Sonic movie. It's like, oh, that's how you do a video game movie, but it doesn't feel like Sonic. This movie feels like Resident Evil.
Yeah,
but that's also limiting because you either have to really like Resident Evil or really like B-schlock movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
it's good. Yeah. Very good.
strong agreement with everybody else. Like if you're a Resident Evil fan, just give it a shot. Keep an open mind. There's going to be a lot of minor and major changes that are, if you're super stickler for it to be as faithful and as accurate as possible, that might rub you the wrong way. And the CG is really, really fucking terrible. But if you're in the mood for some B-movie schlock that is just having fun and knows it is B-movie schlock, this might be right up your fucking alley. I am genuinely upset at how much I like this movie. It was not supposed to happen this way. I was not supposed to potentially rework my best of list to include fucking Resident Evil. God damn it.
Oh my god.
All right, so before we wrap things up, what has everybody been up to, playing movie-wise or show-wise or reading or whatever?
Mine's been a pretty dull week, so I'll just knock mine out first. For those of you out there in the world who don't know me personally, I work bookstore retail, and this episode is being recorded the day after Christmas, which means for the past 2 weeks, I've been getting my ass kicked. So I have not had a whole lot of time to delve into relaxing, leisurely material. I have been finally playing Kingdom Hearts 3, however. Kingdom Hearts is probably my favorite video game franchise ever. And 3 is just the one that I never really got around to because I've not been a console gamer since the PlayStation 2 era. So I had to wait for it to get its PC release, and then had to wait even longer to wear down my morals enough to get the Epic Games Store download. And then, I'm playing Kingdom Hearts 3 right now. I think I'm about a third of the way through the game, and it's strange. It is good.
Mm-hmm.
It is very strange. They have a skill system called attractions, which, while the already bloated list of special moves is there, because they've essentially taken every type of special move from all games past and pushed them together into this one. So it's like, hey, why not just have magic when you could have style changes and summons and links and this gauge and slow down bullet time, and then there's attractions where you summon rides from Disneyland.
Beautiful.
You summon the Mad Hatter's teacup ride, and you Dolan and Gooby jump into them and turn into a whirling tornado of death. It's very tonally strange.
Mm-hmm.
The plot stopped giving a fuck years ago.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
And I'm okay with it at this point. I don't even care anymore. Like I'm along for the ride. Anytime the plot takes a mad bullshit turn at this point, I'm just like, yep, sure, keep it coming. Absolutely. A time travel? Fucking throw it in there. Let's go. Absolutely. What do you mean there's 4 of the villain now and they're all still him? Fuck it. Let's go. Okay. So that's basically the only thing I've been digging into a bit lately. I have been showing my fiance the original animated Cowboy Bebop series.
Nice.
Which she is digging so far. We've gotten 5 or 6 episodes in, so she's gotten to meet Vicious, and not quite long enough to meet Ed yet. But she's digging it. She's along for the ride on more, so that's a good sign. I'm still gonna marry her.
Good.
Yep. And that is about it. Light week for me.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be reading at this point. I'm getting sucked into a manga. I can't remember if I brought it up last podcast, but I needed some eye bleach because I was just doing too much horror and action and needed something good to, calm the mind. So I picked up a comedy, slice of life kind of series called Quintessential Quintuplets, which is fucking adorable. It's kind of a harem series of a guy who's tutoring 5 identical sisters who all have different quirks. And the gimmick is in the future he marries one of them, but since they all look the same, they can show you what the wife looks like and you still don't know which one it is.
Oh, it's how I Met Your Mother, but
good.
Good, yeah. Oh, sorry.
It's like 14 volumes long, and I'm on book 3 right now, and it's fucking cute. It's really good. I think it was I can't remember which YouTuber it was. One of the YouTubers I follow, maybe Giga, I don't remember who it was, said it was really good, and they did a video on it, and I'm like, all right, I'll jump on in. And yeah, it's charming.
Nice.
So that's where I'm at.
but mostly with you guys, and mostly in the background as I've been writing a Call of Cthulhu one-shot.
Yeah.
I'm going to be running very soon. So, but I did take a little bit of a break, and I watched all of Arcane in like a day.
Yes.
Which I knew would happen, which is why I had kind of been putting off watching it, because I'd heard so many good things and seen how visually gorgeous it is, and I was just like, damn, I really need to actually pay attention to this one. And I know if I watch it, I won't be able to stop watching it, and that's exactly what happened. And I won't get into too much about it because I'm sure we'll talk about it at some point later. But it's brilliant. It was so enjoyable. And then the other big thing that I've been tackling has been the new Sherlock Holmes game, Sherlock Holmes Chapter 1, which is exactly the game I needed. I loved it so much.
Nice.
And yeah, I don't even really know if I can recommend it to anyone else, because I've been following this company since the early aughts or whatever, since some of their first Sherlock Holmes games, and I've seen them improve in quality exponentially, to the point where they were really terrible, shoddy PC games that barely ran, to actual competing for my time against AAA studios level good.
To briefly chime in, I can attest for the first part, since I played the very first Sherlock Holmes game with you, Kat.
Yeah, they're very janky, but they improve, they get better, and that's been my favorite thing to watch is seeing this. So I would say fucking support them, because they're a great dev team that has actually really strived to get better at their craft, and also has gotten screwed over by publishing companies in the past. But for this particular game, it's really scratching that itch of oh my god, I just love doing the detective work, and I feel like their presentation of the stories and the, solving the mysteries and the investigation part is just really clever. They pull a kind of joke on the audience in the beginning that I thought I was very confused for a second, and then the reveal happened for what it was, and I was just like, this is fucking genius. Without spoiling it, because I'm sure I'll also talk about this more later. And the writing was just really good. It went to some very dark places, and honestly, it was the first game in a really long time where I was presented with a moral choice that I actually had to pause the game and think about for an hour. It was really good.
Okay.
So that's my recommendation, but yeah, it's, if you guys have seen Yahtzee's review, he's pretty spot on with most of the complaints as well. There is jank still in it. They tried to do a combat system, and it's just not good. You get used to it, but it's not good. And yeah. But so yeah, those are the big things that I've been, ingesting that are not the Matrix and Resident Evil. So
Aaron?
I'm trying to think, what have I been doing? I played Alan Wake finally for the first time.
Hey!
For a project that will show up at some point, maybe in the next month.
Damn you,
And
Stephen King!
Going through all the Assassin's Creed games for another project. And it's probably the most painful thing I've decided to do, is to play Assassin's Creed games.
Are you not a fan?
I was a fan.
Mm-hmm.
And then Assassin's Creed 3 happened.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I'm a fan of the things people hate. I liked the last two Pirates movies. I liked the
Hey, I feel you.
Matrix movies.
I opened this podcast admitting I liked Grave Encounters 2. I know what it's like. You're you're fucking weird and you have bad taste. I'm like, cool, thanks.
It's fun to have bad taste.
Exactly.
But with Assassin's Creed, I was really excited. The thing that really pushed me forward, especially through Brotherhood and Revelations, was the Desmond storyline, and it really felt like it was going to go somewhere, and then it didn't. I got mad,
And then
and then the future storyline of 4 and just everything else is like, oh, okay, we're going to give up, but we're also going to just not talk about it, but we're going to talk about it, but not in any meaningful way. And I think Syndicate and Unity were the worst of them because they acknowledged it was there, but didn't do anything to move it forward. It was like, yeah, we don't care.
My sister was a fan of the Assassin's Creed games, but I think she played Black Flag first, which she really liked, and then she went back to play. She was like, I'm going to start the whole series, and she started 1 and just got very tired of the open world stuff. It was just like, okay, I'm going to skip ahead, and then she also was like, I don't like this franchise. I just like Black Flag, and I'm like, all right, fair.
Yeah, that's absolutely fair, especially if you start with 4.
Yeah,
because it's more of a pirate game than it is an Assassin's Creed game.
Yeah.
Very much so.
But I think the most tiring Assassin's Creed game in all is Odyssey. It's a game that is it's way too big for its own good. It got to the point where I just got the platinum for it just because I could, I guess. It took me 86 hours, which is
my God,
way too long for any Assassin's Creed game. And again, yes, I got the platinum. Did I do everything? Hell no, I didn't.
Yeah.
This is a game that has so much that I think I was at level 56 or 57. I was getting 33,000 experience points for finishing a mission, and it barely moved my experience bar up. I was doing 20,000 damage to enemies that was acted just like a scratch. It wasn't doing anything, and it just felt like the math was off on everything with Odyssey. It's just
because they want you to buy those XP
program
boosters.
No, it's just numbers. That's all it is you want large numbers. Here's a bunch of large numbers. It's like what is it, Disgaea, like that tactics game that we just like big numbers, and here's some nonsensical large numbers. And the better balance of the new things of the new Assassin's Creed games of all that is Valhalla, but it's still way too big. I'm nowhere near finishing this game, and I'm already at 70 hours. It's just this is way too. Assassin's Creed was a bite-sized series. 30 hours. That's it. Get in and out. I don't care. I don't want to dedicate my life to finishing an Assassin's Creed game.
Nah, bro. Open world sandbox, 200 hours minimum. Get in there.
Yeah, I'm so afraid of the next one.
Clear those side quests. Collect one of each herb to fill out your fucking journal.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Hunt the legendary elk and craft armor out of it. I don't fucking know.
Speaking of, not to jump in on your thing, but I also recently finished Far Cry 6. And I had very much the same thought where I finished the story and I was like, all right, that wasn't bad. And then I kind of just looked at all of the stuff I still had left to do and just went, nah, and turned it off and haven't turned it on since.
Damn.
That is absolutely fair. It was good, but it wasn't anything special or
exactly.
you need to go back into.
I thought about getting the platinum because I've gotten the platinum for a bunch of previous Far Cries, but I was like, the stuff I still have to, there's still so much to do to get the platinum that I was just like, I don't feel like it. Sorry.
Yeah, I'll probably go back and get the platinum when the Danny Trejo mission comes out, when all the DLC is out.
Oh yeah, that one was. I actually saw that on my map, but apparently that was a bug.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it appeared on my map, but then it disappeared for a while, and I was like, "What?" And I googled it, and they were like, "Oh yeah, that was not a thing. Don't worry about it.
Just ignore it.
Just ignore it.
Ready, but not ready.
But it had the splash screen. My splash screens for forever were Danny Trejo, and I'm like, what?
Don't worry about it.
What is this?
Just forget it. Forget you saw it.
It's nothing. It's nothing.
Yeah.
But
man.
Outside of all that, I started reading the novelization of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Oh,
ooh, okay.
Cool.
And yeah,
Thoughts?
if you ever wanted to hear Tarantino narrate a film, that's that.
Oh, did he write the novel? Did he write the novelization?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's very apparent when you get to some like larger descriptions about things. It's like,
Uh-huh.
oh, you needed an editor.
too many up close feet shots.
Yeah, 50 pages,
I,
50 pages dedicated describing one character's feet.
I actually think in the first paragraph, where it starts with the meeting of the agent, not in the restaurant, but in the agent's office, and he has it's a very shocking, like I wouldn't say shocking, but a very, I guess, male description of the secretary with the hippie look on the short skirt, and the only way he identifies her coming in or out is with the short skirt, constantly referencing the short skirt. It's just, well, thanks, Tarantino.
Yeah.
I can't remember which guy it was. I want to say it was Eli Roth.
Mhm.
But Mr. Roth, don't quote me on this. That there was a story about him going over to Tarantino's house to watch a movie because he's got that like swanky home movie theater.
Mm-hmm.
And the only thing Eli would say about it to the interview was like, "Oh, so what was it like watching a movie at Tarantino's house?" He just like, Quentin wouldn't shut the fuck up. We put the movie on, and he just keeps spouting off shit that he knows about the movie. It's like, that's fascinating and all, but like, can we watch it?
That's
Oh my
the
God.
book.
James,
That
are
is
you
the book.
Quentin Tarantino? No, I'm kidding. Sorry.
How did you know? I'm Quentin Tarantino, who sounds like David Lynch.
I like factories and nude feet.
I'm kidding. I love you.
I'm not kidding. I hate me.
Oh my God.
Aw.
Well, wait, James, what have you been up to? And then we gotta play ourselves out because
Clearing out a lot of the extra life shit, of course, and then there's been some watch parties we've done that we just haven't done a Gooncast on for one reason or another. Some of them are future, some of them were scrapped.
One of them was scrapped already.
Yeah, I really cannot recommend Stone Ocean enough. I want more.
Oh
of it
my
now.
God! Oh my God! I didn't mention Stone Ocean.
I want more Stone
I've
Ocean.
had JoJo.
Now.
I've had Jolene for 12 episodes, and if anything ever happens to her, I will kill everyone in this room and then myself.
Oh man, I can't wait for you to get to the end.
Oh my God!
We've only had 12 episodes of Stone Ocean. No word on when we're gonna get the rest. I need more of it now. JoJo's is it's so
absolutely
fucking batshit and wonderful, and I love it.
James, you have no idea how many times Will was like, "Let's watch Arcane," and I was like, "No, I can't sit through a long series again." But then I would contemplate rewatching JoJo season 6.
That's what JoJo's does to you, baby. And then, at least in terms of one extra life thing, I'm not too far into it, but I've played the first hour to 2 of Disco Elysium, and already it has better writing, I think, than like 99.9% of video games that I've played that have come out in the last few years. It is so wonderfully written, and I'm just engrossed and absorbed, and
I've heard so many good things about it, and it's one of those things where I just haven't cut out time yet for it, but I own the director's cut, and I must play it at some point.
It's so good.
I came across a job listing for a writer for the team that did Disco Elysium, and I was too terrified to apply because it's that fucking good. I'm not even gonna embarrass myself.
It's obscene. Yeah, and I can't wait to eventually get around to going through more. It's just, scheduling and whatnot, since I'm streaming it and I'm trying to juggle all these different fucking plates, and then also starting other batshit insane things like fucking Barkley Shut Up and Jam Gaiden, which I'm only about like an hour and a half into, and it's absolutely fucking bonkers. For the uninitiated, the dev team behind that, they're called Tales of Games, and the dev team's name is deliberately grammatically incorrect or grammatically weird because it's just a shit post. They read, one of them, or maybe multiple people in the team read Michael Jordan's Wikipedia page, and there was this passage about the movie Space Jam that was so awkwardly written about if Space Jam was canon, without really clarifying if it's canon to Looney Tunes or canon to Michael Jordan's life. So they decided to take this concept and just take this passage about if Space Jam is canon and make a sequel to an obscure, like, 16-bit era basketball game called Barkley Shut Up and Jam, and then turn this into a turn-based JRPG that takes place in a science fiction dystopian future where the events of Space Jam are canon. And basketball has been outlawed because of a chaos dunk, which can kill millions of people. And it sounds stupid, and it is stupid, but it is bonkers, and it is also exceptionally well written, although it does get a little tedious every time you try to fucking save, and the fucking save bot is just monologuing at you about his opinions.
That's my favorite
on game
part.
dev. It's nonsense. Like, Kat, I have to sit through like 10 text boxes in order to
Oh my
save,
god.
as this bot is just monologuing about fucking Pocky, or how JRPGs are better than Western tripe like Quake and FIFA. It is so nonsense, and I'm fully on board, and I can't wait to do more. And in terms of,
I appreciate this approach of like, yeah, it's ridiculous, but you got to keep an open mind about it. So anyway, the chaos dunk.
yeah, it's and on the subject of ridiculousness, Lee, I don't think you've seen this yet, and Kat, I know you watched it, and Matt, or Aaron, I think you've watched it as well. I recently watched PG's Psycho Gorman, and that movie is complete schlock also, but I genuinely enjoyed how stupid and ridiculous it was. I'm a sucker for comedic schlock. Basically, the premise is, what if E.T. but replace the cute friendly alien with Thanos?
Yeah.
And replace Elliot with a female version of Cartman.
Yeah, oh my god, yes. And she's great. I know the Red Letter Media review was like talking about like how people would find her annoying or something.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, but that's kind of the entire point of her character, is that she's literally female Cartman. She's supposed to be the worst kid.
She is a complete
and she does it
asshole.
brilliantly.
Yeah, and it's just wonderful, and there's so much stupid shit in it, and just I genuinely,
it's incredibly schlocky B movie.
Yeah. And then the final thing that we did a watch party on, which you weren't there for Aaron, but our friend Banana Boat was Axum, which it's
almost made my best of list.
I'm still debating about if it's hitting my best of list. It is a complete tire fire of a movie in the best way possible.
Oh my god, it's such a glorious disaster.
It is a 1990s slasher film. Early 90s, like 92. And it is just so badly shot, and there's like no boom mic, and the video quality is awful, and everybody's talking over each other, and there's film errors in it, and there's even like grammatical errors all over the goddamn place, as like the opening title crawl, it has like this text to describe like the basic setup for the movie, and it's literally the first couple seconds of this fucking film. And the beautiful thing about this is it's like multiple sentences or multiple lines, but the first letter of every fucking sentence is capitalized. Even I mean, it's just run-on sentences, but like every line is just, it's capitalized, and it's delightful. Yeah, like it opens with, On a cold winter night in 1990, Mr. Mason, a mean and cruel townsman, left his job for home. After arriving home, he took a shotgun and killed his wife and kids. Then, Mean Man killed himself. And
Is that the one I read as the devil?
No, you read Welcome to Raccoon City as the devil.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And it's
the devil.
It's a delightful thing, and also, Aaron, to give you a wonderful idea, the movie's dedicated to the director's grandmother, right? Who sadly passed away.
That's sweet.
It's sweet,
Yeah.
yes. And the film came out in 1992. It was presumably shot in 1991. Either way, he got his grandmother's date of death wrong because it says that she died in 1993. That's the ineptitude we're dealing with. It is.
Oh no!
It is the only time a mic is used, Aaron, is in the first 5 minutes during a Yo Mama joke competition.
As you do.
And it was very obviously a shoot the rodeo kind of moment because clearly the mic was not brought by the director.
No, it wasn't, and it is so nonsensical, and I.
So this is almost worse than Manos, because Manos was at least like I bet you can't make a movie. Oh yeah, Manos.
Yeah, Manos is probably a smidge worse because
Manos is worse because it
nothing happens.
Okay,
in Manos.
Nothing happens, but production-wise, it's got slightly higher value because at the very least you can kind of understand the charters.
At the very least, they ADR'd the film. There's no
exactly. No one rewatched the film and said to the director, "Hey, you can't understand a word anyone is fucking saying in this movie. We need to re-record their lines."
Yeah. There's...
Or if they did, the director was just like, No. Keep it.
We keep it this way.
There's something weirdly avant-garde about it, and I just love it.
It's complete.
I kept thinking of Deathbed, the Bed That Eats.
We have to do a watch party of that at some point. I want to see this.
Absolutely, we do. That one's beautiful.
I discovered this movie through Cosmonaut Marcus's channel because he decided one Halloween to do a Halloween episode where he watched the worst reviewed horror movie on IMDb, and this was it. And the whole thing is on YouTube, and that's how we watched it. And it is.
Yeah.
Oh, it was. I don't blame anybody for genuinely hating this movie, but as a lover of bad cinema, as a lover of shit like Manos and the stuff that MST3K or Riff Tracks would riff, I enjoyed it. I'm sure based on our watch party, I think Lee hated it, but I also understand why.
I hated it.
Oh.
Yeah, I truly understand why anyone would hate it.
Yeah, that's totally understandable.
It's not quite like Wish Upon, where Wish Upon is just so... There's production value in Wish Upon, but it is so fucking batshit and weird and stupid that it's a little easier
the kind of
to get behind.
It's the kind of movie where 90% of the viewing time is spent going, "What the fuck?" at the screen.
Yeah. Because you can't hear the dialogue. You can't
hear the dialogue.
You can barely hear, and you can barely see anything because it's fucking.
It's
shot on video
on YouTube, so the compression's also probably not great.
Yeah.
But there were 3 pixels for character faces, and then they were changing costumes, and we were like, "Wait a second, didn't that guy die already?"
Yeah, it is a mess of a movie, but I truly enjoyed it. And I won't say that I recommend it though. If it sounds like it's up your alley, watch it.
Yeah.
Or
if you're somebody who watches Red Letter Media and sees them watching stuff, and you think I will watch that myself without their humorous commentary, this might be for you.
Yeah. Or alternatively, just watch the review from Cosmonaut Marcus. It's called the worst horror movie ever made. And it's
I still need to watch that actually.
It's 10 minutes and it's fantastic. He gave the movie, because he gives movies reviews and proper scores and everything. He gave it an unironic 9.5 out of 10 despite tearing it apart the entire 10 minutes.
Hell yeah.
Fair enough.
It's beautiful fucking garbage. And he, for his review, he had to watch the movie 3 times to try to get a basic grips as to what the fuck happened in the goddamn movie.
Yeah. I definitely don't know what the fuck happened in it.
Yeah, it's nonsense. All right, so I think that about does it. Yeah. So
Yep.
and this is normally where we plug our shit, Aaron. What do you have to plug? Where can we find you?
Nowhere yet.
You have a YouTube channel.
So
I'm subscribed to
mysterious.
Don't ask me what it is. I don't know what the name of my YouTube channel is.
I'll fucking check the description of this video. I'll fucking plug it.
Don't go there yet. There's nothing there yet. Give me a month.
All right. Bookmark it and then go to his YouTube channel in a month.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh my god.
All right.
Go for it, Lee.
All right. Well, this has been your boy Lee Alder, the Valley Jester. You can catch my shit over at twitch.tv/Valley Jester. We are coming back from a hiatus. Once again, I was getting bent over by the retail industry. But now I'm back. We'll be doing Kingdom Hearts 3, finishing that up. And then I'm going to see if my computer has the capability to handle streaming FF7 Remake on PC, which was gifted to me by a Goon.
I don't know what you're
And
who could it be?
we're gonna have a good time with that.
Use the cloud
Hell
Quest
yeah.
mod, where it's just cloud and drag the entire game.
Cloud and drag is fucking hot. I'm with it.
Sir?
So, I'm once again Kat, aka the Attack Cat on Twitch. I've also been on kind of an informal hiatus, just because I've got a lot of projects that don't really correlate with streaming, like writing Cthulhu one-shots kind of projects, and, you know, a bunch of other stuff. But I might be back to stream Trophy Cleanup for Sherlock Holmes in the near future, I think. And otherwise, yeah, so just the Attack Cat on Twitch. That's where you can find me.
Yeah. With underscores.
Yes. Pickle underscores.
Yeah. And I'm James, also known as Saber0307, which you can find me on Twitch, where I stream all sorts of garbage and sometimes good stuff. Currently, I'm in the process of clearing out the backlog of incentives from Extra Life. And
Ballin.
Ballin's fuck world.
Ballin.
God damn it. Yeah.
I can't believe that game's not hitting the top 10 list of anybody.
Oh, it's on a top 5 for me.
It made a list already.
It made my list for
And it was checked twice.
Checked twice and played twice. God, kill me. Yeah, so
It's your legacy, James.
My legacy is fucking Corpse Party, Ballin, and Drakengard, and I wouldn't want it any
Yes,
other way.
it is.
Oh, and Illbleed as well.
And Illblade. Yeah.
yeah.
So we have a lot of fun on there. Currently, I'm a VTuber because of Extra Life. So if you
Because of hotness.
because if you want it,
Because he's the sexiest VTuber of all time.
if you want the cutest, angriest anime waifu with my voice coming out of it, where you can throw shit at me, yeah, give me a watch.
She's my favorite.
It's pretty amazing. It's
Yeah.
It's
legit.
It's batshit, and we have a lot of fun with it, and it confuses people, and they're just like, "Why are you a VTuber?" It's like, don't worry about it. Extra Life.
Yeah,
Wait, have people actually come on the channel and been like, "Why are you a VTuber?"
Yeah, people who have not been on
Really?
the channel for a while, they pop in. It's like, I see there have been some changes. What's going on?
And you're like, shut up, Baka.
Shut up. Shut up. It's for charity. I had no say in the VTuber model. The VTuber model
Damn
was
right you
specifically
didn't.
made by Natalie at Kat's suggestion.
Yes, god damn it. Natalie, to perfection, as always.
Yeah, it even has stupid bear ears that everybody thinks are cat ears.
It does have barriers, and I love it.
All right, yeah. So we'll be back.
Less Nico, more Kuma.
Yeah, the next Gooncast will most likely be our best, worst, and most disappointing list episodes, and that should be great. Because we have a lot to say about our favorites, and it may surprise you, Balin won't. Balin's on my worst list. I won't say
Oh,
where it
spoiler.
is, but it's
Yeah.
Yeah,
but
spoiler warning.
No more spoilers for the list. We gotta
yeah,
gotta keep it.
it'll be great. So yeah, y'all take care of yourselves, stay safe, be excellent to each other, and we'll catch you on the next Gooncast. So bye.
Yeah, folks, Femboy Cloud is submissive and breedable.
Jesus Christ.
Also, everybody
Bye,
get fucked.
everybody.
Wow.